cord. And then we are off. So right now we're just getting into the intro sequence to the game. So we have a long ways to go. So right now we're on a boat on our way to Vivosaur Island. And right now we're seeing a presentation on what this island has to offer. So right now we're talking to Captain Travers, who is the captain of this boat. And a few things about this speedrun I should mention is that there is a lot of grinding involved, so towards the most of the speedrun, once we beat the game, will just be a bunch of grinding that isn't too entertaining. And here it is kind of important for early game that we choose V-Raptor here as our favorite Vivosaur. Or favorite dinosaur, I should say. If we choose V-Raptor, we're going to get another part for V-Raptor later on, and since V-Raptor is available very early in the game, it's really helpful, so we can get a really strong Vivosaur really fast. And also, you can't really see it on stream, but I do have a separate timer going for actual in-game. This will help just to see how I compare to just actual normal time, because the in-game timer does not at all align with the actual timer, with actual time. So, although the current speedrun is for 75:40, there still isn't a whole lot of other stuff that we can go off of besides the in-game time, but it would just be nice to see the real time and how those two compare. And of course the game is kind of lagging right now. We're gonna see if we can get that to not lag. I don't know what's actually causing the lag to this game right now. Yeah, it's not fun when your game is lagging. So another important thing about this speedrun is it is done as a segmented speedrun, so it's not like you do it all in one sitting. You can, but that would be a very, very bad idea. So probably with the speedrun, at least for today, we'll see what happens, but we're going to try and just go all the way up to the end of Chapter 1 for this game right now. And then once we're done with Chapter 1, we're probably just going to end this stream. So, right now, we have to head to the hotel. So that's going to be where we head on off to. And on our way to the hotel, we get hit by Peggy, and she's just going to tell us how to run. So, also some other things with this speedrun, you're going to see with the team, it's going to vary kind of between what stage of the game we're in, because obviously early game, we have a limited selection on what Vivosaurs we can use. But then once we start actually getting farther into the game, you're going to see the team get more and more fleshed out to what you're going to see for almost the entire speedrun. But the biggest member of the team actually won't be there until the very end, or after the end of the main story. So, we'll have our, one of our supports is a donation Vivosaur, so we'll just see what happens with fossils. With that, I can't quite accurately determine when we're going to get it. Could be as early as Chapter 2, as late as Chapter 5 that we get it. So, that one, it would be nice to get it earlier rather than later, because it is really helpful. And then the other one we're going to get is in Chapter 6. So we have one donation point Vivosaur, then one in Chapter 6, and then one in the post-game. So we have a very wide variety of things that we're going to be using, but it'll start becoming more one team once we get to the tail end of this game, or at least the tail end of the main story. So right now, Dr. Diggins is the person we're talking to right now, and he's just explaining about cleaning fossils and the general mechanic of all of that. So right now, we're going to go talk to Dr. Diggins and clean our first fossil. So right now, he's just explaining how to clean. So we're just going to mash through all that text. And now we're able to start our cleaning. And it is lagging just a little bit. So I will say a few things about this. This will be my 4th time obtaining the chickens of this game. The first 2 times I did it were just very casually. Just trying to see what those chickens were. And then the 3rd time I did it was the speedrun you would currently find right now for the world record of all Vivosaurs. And that got an in-game time of 75 hours and 40 minutes. And then with this run, I'm going to try and beat that. There are a few things in that run that I know I can improve on. One of those things is when I started that run, I wasn't actually intending to do a speed run of it, so the very beginning of the game is very slow. And other things are grinding. I didn't know exactly the fastest and most consistent way of grinding at that point, so I tried around a few things with grinding on Mr. Richmond, which just lets you refight the final boss exactly how you fought it. Or you refight the final boss, but it's all max rank instead of the rank you fight it at. And then another was Dynal, the king of the Dinorians. He gives the most battle points per, or second most battle points per battle. The most is the direct refight with the final boss, who you end up having to watch the credits all over again, so that one definitely was not an effective way of grinding. And then the final way is, which ends up being the fastest, is grinding on McJunker. He has a very simple battle style in which you can consistently beat him in 3 turns. And I say consistent because the battle with Mr. Richmond is faster. However, 2 of the 3 opposing Vivosaurs have a move called Whirling Displacement, which if they use that, it'll be horrendously slow to finish that fight. So overall, the consistency makes McJunker the fastest to grind on out of the post-game people you can battle. As you can see here, we just obtained Spinax. That, of course, I just hit fighters there. We just obtained our very first Vivosaur, which is Spinax. So he'll be our starter, and we'll be carrying this run for quite a while until we get better Vivosaurs to use. But in general, Spinax is a very good Vivosaur, especially in the early game. So now that we have revived our first fossil, we can take our cleaning test in the fossil stadium to get our fighter's license. But one other thing I can improve on the previous run I have had for this game is that when I did the speedrun earlier for this, it was done grabbing every single fossil for every single Vivosaur, so I effectively did what's called 200%ing this game, which 100%ing is just getting all Vivosaurs, which this speedrun does. 200% is the same exact thing, but all fossils. So in that speedrun, I did all fossils. However, that is slower because sometimes you just get very bad fossil RNG. So if you don't do that get that bad fossil RNG, what ends up happening is you end up saving time, because although you have to grind that Vivosaur up more, you don't have to worry on just keep on getting bad RNG. And there are a few things we can do, because to revive every Vivosaur, you have to have the head fossil. So what you can do to aid in that is while you're searching for Vivosaurs, if you're just not getting the head fossil and don't want to rely on RNG, there is a certain Vivosaur where if you put them on your team, you will find only head fossils. So every fossil the RNG randomizes like normal, but instead of finding body, arm, and leg parts, all of those then just become head fossils. So there are a few Vivosaurs that we might have to use this on, mainly Mihu in Parchment Desert and Paki in Cold Feet Glacier. Those two Vivosaurs tend to be very rare at times, so we may have to use that certain Vivosaur to only get head fossils to help speed things along. So we'll have to be paying attention for that. And then also every now and then Perso tends to be also very bad to obtain in Parchment Desert. We're gonna hope that we get head fossils really quickly for all of our Vivosaurs, because at the very least, the head fossil is what we need. It'll be nice to have other parts, because that does require less grinding. However, we don't want to deal with RNG to get those parts. So we've now passed our cleaning test part. So we're now going to get introduced to fossil battles. So here we're going to quote-unquote fight Tipper. It's not as much of a fight as it is an explanation. So basic battle mechanics, whoever has the least amount of LP or life points battles first. So, and then also every skill you use costs a certain amount of FP, and that FP recharges every turn. So right now our FP recharge is 70, but that increases every fighter rank you gain. So once we get our fighter's license, that FP recharge will increase yet again. And I forgot to talk to Tiffany here. So now that we talked to Tiffany, we can go through this door and do a fossil battle. If we win that battle, what ends up happening is we get our fighter's license and we can progress in the story. So our opponent is going to be Captain Travers. He is the captain of the boat that brought us to this island to begin with. So he will be fighting us with a Goyo. And the fossil battle is kind of lagging a little bit, but Captain Travers does end up having less LP than us, so he gets to move first, and he uses Rock Head for 30 FP, doing 8 damage, and auto counter will deal 1 back. And then we get to use our single attack of Spinax Fang against Goyo, which does 30 points of damage. And we then have to end our turn. And then Goyo uses Rock Head again for 9 damage. Auto counter will deal 1 back. And then we get to do another Spinax Fang and win this battle. So I didn't mention this earlier, but with the Spinax fossil that we cleaned, it was very crucial that we got 100 points on that. The reason for that is that makes Spinax level 2 instead of level 1. By doing that, it makes it where potentially you can just kill that Goyo in 1 hit and do a 1-hit KO. It didn't happen there, but also later on, it's more important to have a higher level Vivosaur, not only because we do need it at level 12, but it's also, you just deal more damage to your opponents, and it's likely things will go faster, and you're going to survive longer yourself. But you can see here we beat this battle, so that means that we get our fighter's license, and I kind of mashed through it a little bit, but also what ends up happening is Captain Travers gave us V-Raptor legs. So V-Raptor will be in our first dig site coming up here. So with that first dig site, "12 minutes for prologue." That's actually fairly good. It was 17 minutes in actual time, so you can already kind of see it. In real time, we're already 5 minutes ahead of what the game is saying. But with what I was talking about with V-Raptor is V-Raptor can be found in Greenhorn Plains, which is the very first dig site. So with the legs fossil being available to us, it is possible we can have 3 fossils for V-Raptor this early in the game, which means V-Raptor will be about level 6 and we'll have 3 skills we can use, which is really, really good for this early part of the game. Because also we do 100% need to revive V-Raptor by Chapter 3, because there is a fight that requires the use of V-Raptor in that chapter. So, also, I mentioned we could have 3 parts for V-Raptor. The way this game works is there are 4 parts to a Vivosaur you can obtain: head, body, arms, and legs. And at the beginning of the game, you can obtain 2 of them: the head and a random other body part. So it might be the body, it might be the arms, or it might be the legs. So if we randomize to legs as the other part we can find, we're only going to have 2 parts available for V-Raptor. So it'll still be strong, but it's not going to be as strong as I would like. So we have about a 1 in 3 chance that we just got that bad RNG and rolled legs. But if we got body or arms, we would have a level 6-ish V-Raptor. I say 6-ish is I may not clean the fossils to 100 points, because right now I'm playing on an emulator, specifically on my laptop, and I'm not quite used to cleaning on this laptop. If I was cleaning these on an actual DS, I would definitely be able to get 100 points, but it's definitely possible I could not, or I might not get 100 points on those fossils, meaning it will be just shy of level 6. So right now we're talking to Beginner. She specifically says no puns please about her name, but she is teaching us about different fossil rocks that we can dig up. So right here in the trial dig site, we're going to dig up 3 different rocks: a Shan head, a Spinax head, and just a normal fossil. So here, we'll get one of the fossils. This one will be the Spinax head. We don't really care too much about that. We got 100 points on it, so we don't have a use for it. But here, beginner tells us it's a fossil that we already have. We can clean it again for a better score and improve Spinax more, but we can't get better than 100 points without a rare fossil, in which none of the fossils at the trial dig site are rare. Then here, we just dug up a normal fossil rock. Or just normal rocks. They do nothing. They're not useful at all. Then here we got a new fossil rock, which will be our Shan head. So now that we've dug up those 3 rocks, we'll talk to beginner, leave the dig site, and go back to the fossil center and clean our fossils. So we're going to run back to the fossil center. And now that we're back at the fossil center, we get a talk from Dr. Diggins about the robot KL33N, or clean. So anytime we want to clean a fossil, we'll just talk to clean, and we're able to clean that fossil. So talking to clean here, we'll clean by hand, and since it's at the start of our case, we'll clean the V-Raptor legs. It's going to be nice to clean this now, so that way once we get to Greenhorn Plains, that's one less fossil rock in our inventory that's a new rock. And you can see already I have damaged the fossil, so it's no matter what, we are not getting a level 6 V-Raptor to start with. But we're still going to get one very highly leveled, because this still will be a smashing success level, so 90 plus points on this fossil. You're going to see I'm going to get smashing successes on most of these fossils. There are some fossils that are definitely way too difficult for me to clean, where I'm just going to try and just do the best job I can. However, the more points the better we clean the fossils, the less we have to grind later in the game. So we definitely want to aim for 100 points on all of these fossils for sure. But there are a few fossils that I know I won't be able to get 100 points on because they're just really difficult or impossible. One of those impossible fossils is Trima Head. It is a dark fossil rock, and it will always be in a dark fossil rock, meaning that you have to use a hammer to break the outer shell. However, the outer shell is very fragile, so if you hammer it, you're very likely to break the fossil in the process. So it's impossible to clean that fossil to 100 points. It is possible to get a smashing success on that fossil before. I have done it. However, I've never done it on this laptop before. So once we get that far, I don't know what will completely happen with it, but we'll give it our best shot. But there are other fossils as well that I know will be very hard to clean, and I'm just going to clean them to just actually get them. Some of those fossils are Corona Head and Turbo Head. Both of the fossil rock shapes there are very, very annoying. One of them uses the jail bar shapes, that is Turbo Head, and then the other one, Corona Head, uses bits and pieces as the fossil shape. It's just such a shame that Corona Head is so difficult to clean, because Corona, as you can tell by my profile picture, is my favorite Vivosaur in this game and the sequel. The reason for that is, for my very first playthrough of Fossil Fighters about 10 years ago, Corona is the Vivosaur I use the most and what carried me through the story of Fossil Fighters. Because once I got to the penultimate boss, I was very struggling on what to do, because as a little kid, it's very hard to know what to do against tough fights. You just kind of just do whatever looks cool to you on your team, and that's about it. So, with the team I had, I was going to lose if I didn't have Corona on there. Corona was the last Vivosaur alive on my team, which barely had any health left and ended up getting the finishing KO against the penultimate boss, giving me the victory. And ever since then, I've loved Corona ever since, and has been my favorite Vivosaur. So right now we're in the process of cleaning Shan Head. This will give us our second Vivosaur out of 100. So we're not even anywhere close to even reviving every Vivosaur, let alone getting them to max rank. But then again, we're still in the very beginning of the story, and it sucks that I damaged the Shan fossil literally at the very end. However, because of the early game of this, that 1 point of damage doesn't matter too much, because this is the second Vivosaur we have revived, so we're going to put it on our team, and we're definitely going to get at least one battle point with it before the grinding stage, meaning it'll effectively be a 100 point cleaning anyways. It just scares me that I'm not getting 100 points on fossils that are really easy to clean, so it scares me for fossils later in the game. So now we have clean, talking about fossil rocks and what they look like in the case, the difference between new fossil rocks and ones you've already cleaned before. We're just going to try and mash through this. And now that we're done, Dr. Diggins comes through the entryway and places down a VMM, or Vivosaur Management Machine. This is what essentially just lets us move stuff around between our team and storage. So it's like the PC of Pokemon. It's very similar to that. So Dr. Diggins is just explaining to us how it works, which we don't really care too much because we already know how it works. So we're just trying to mash through this. And no, we don't want him to explain that to us again. And then we're going to add Shan to our team. So we're going to edit our first team, and then Shan on, and then OK. And then we're going to head back to the trial dig site. And then after this visit to the trial dig site, we'll gain access to Greenhorn Plains. There is something about Greenhorn Plains, and every dig site to note is with the speedrun, you don't quite get every Vivosaur because of RNG from that dig site. So you don't end up going back to dig sites to pick up things you miss until the post game. The reason for this is because there are elements in the story in which you have to go back to dig sites anyways. It's like you have to visit Greenhorn Plains in Chapter 4. So if I miss a certain fossil in that part of the game, in Greenhorn Plains, I can pick it up in that part of the chapter anyways and don't have to make a trip to Greenhorn Plains that I didn't already have to make. So, unlike what you would think, especially in later dig sites, like the Chapter 6 one that has like 12 Vivosaurs in it, I believe, we're not going to make a special trip. We're not going to keep on going back and forth between there to get every Vivosaur. Well, we're just not going to do that until the post game if we miss something. Because in Chapter 6, we obviously have to visit that dig site because it's the Chapter 6 dig site. but we also have to visit in Chapter 8 anyways, so we can just do another round of fossil finding in that part of the game, and then get another round of fossils. The only reason why I would go back to Chapter 6, or to that 6 dig site and make a special trip for that, is if I don't get the certain Vivosaur I'm looking for. So, there is one Vivosaur that is crucially needed on my team that we'll get in Chapter 6 to really speed up the last few fights of the story. So we'll make a special trip to go back there in Chapter 6 if need be. But that's going to be a long way out. Because unlike the any percent speedrun, we are going to be taking the time and doing a lot of fossil cleaning in this run. So now we're in a fossil battle with Holt. He explained to us how to do 2-on-2 fossil battles. So that's what we're doing now. 3-on-3 is also the same. So we're just doing a few back and forths. And Igno here used Fist Jab to deal 19 points of damage onto Shan Shan. And then swapped Igno back into the EZ or escape zone. When a Vivosaur is there in the escape zone, you just can't damage it. But Spinax there got the kill on V-Raptor. And then what we're going to do is put Spinax in the EZ. That way Shan Shan is in the AZ and can use Shan Fang against Igno. The reason why I did that is Vivosaur in the AZ that is not classified as a long-range Vivosaur loses attack power if they attack from the SC. So Shan Shan is not one of those long-range Vivosaurs. You can see here it's an all-around. So it does not keep that attack power in the SC. So we want to bring it to the AZ to ensure that it will kill Igno there. Now that we beat Holt, he's explaining about battle points. The more battle points you get, the stronger your Vivosaur will become. And that's basically how you grind Vivosaurs up in this game. Because getting fossils for a Vivosaur can at most get them to rank 10, but max rank is rank 12. So we have to do battles to grind up Vivosaurs to get them to rank 12 so we can get the chickens all the way at the end of the run. But after that, Dr. Diggins showed up and he said since we have revived 2 Vivosaurs, he'll let us go to the level 1 dig site, or Chapter 1, since we are in Chapter 1, as we are also level 1. But that dig site is Greenhorn Plains. So we're just going to head on down this way towards Beth. And Beth is the person that will let us attend or let us travel to dig sites throughout the entire game. So here, Greenhorn Plains, and we'll head off there to Greenhorn Plains. So we're now getting on the boat to head off to Greenhorn Plains. And we have now arrived here to Greenhorn Plains. And then Holt's gonna come here and explain to us about breakable and unbreakable objects. The difference is they'll have different colors, and unbreakable objects can have money inside of them. So we're going to break a few here while we're in Greenhorn Plains. This will make it so when we have to buy something in Chapter 2, we know we have enough money for it and don't have to sell a fossil. Because that fossil, you never know, might be the only one we have of that style. They do have different shapes, so you can tell them apart to some degree, but we want to make sure we have enough money. So here we got 40G, and then we need 50G, so we'll keep breaking those objects until we get more money, and once we get enough, So just money from one more will then... So that gray one, we cannot break. It's only the yellowish colored ones. So we got a Spinax head there, not what we want. So we're just doing some fossil hunting here. It's a little hard with the leg to hear where the actual blips are. There, we got a new fossil rock, which we like, because even if it isn't a head, it would be another part for a Vivosaur, making them higher rank and less grinding we have to do. Because a fossil rock can add up to 2 ranks if it's normal, and up to 3 ranks if it's a rare fossil, per fossil. So if you have all 100-point fossils that are a rank, or all 100-point fossils that are just normal fossils, you'll have a rank 8 Vivosaur right there. If you have all we see we got V-Raptor legs there, so that means we did get the bad RNG of the extra fossil part that we get is legs, which we don't like seeing. But we can still roll with it. And you can see I'm just smashing all of these yellow boulders that we see, hoping that we get money from one of them. If we don't, we still have to come back to Greenhorn Plains one more time before we go to the Chapter 2 or Level 2 dig site. So a new fossil rock. A normal fossil rock, we don't like seeing those. But it looks like we might be able to fit 2 more rocks in our case before we have to start throwing things away. The first 3 things we'll throw away are the 2 Spinax heads we have, and then the V-Raptor legs. We've already cleaned those, so we don't need to clean them again. Because V-Raptor legs, we could in theory get a better score on it, however it's not worth cleaning it again just for 1 more point on it. So Spinax head again, it's not good seeing all of these fossils we already have. We want new fossils. Like that one. We like seeing new fossils. And then I'm just gonna do one last little bit of searching around for fossils. Okay, that's Shan head, so we're not going to swap it for another fossil, because like the V-Raptor legs, we could in theory get 1 more point on it, but it's not worth cleaning again. And there's 2 fossils here, and of course you can't, my character just refuses to dig up either of them. So new fossil, we will swap that out for one of the Spinax heads we have. So it looks like that one is Goyle head, but we already have a Goyle head in there, which is unfortunate. We don't like seeing duplicates either, because there are, let's see, there's 4, 8, so there's 5 different new fossil rocks that'll appear. We like seeing the different ones appear each time, because that ensures that we have a different fossil, and we don't have to come back here. So it looks like there's 2 more fossils over here. And then that'll probably be it, because Greenhorn Plains usually only has 13 to 14 fossils in here, and we've dug up with that normal fossil rock of 12 of them. So this will make 13, which is V-Raptor legs, which we don't care about. So we're now going to head to the back of the dig site to progress the story. Oh, this Greenhorn Plains decided to spawn 14, which is nice. Which is a new fossil rock. We like seeing those. So we'll swap it for a different fossil. And it's really lucky that we grabbed that one, because that one was a different shape than all the rest. If I remember correctly, that one was also Spinax legs, which is a really good fossil to get right here. Which, by getting Spinax legs, will make the next part of the game and the battles that we have to do a lot easier because Spinax will be stronger and will have a second move it can use as well. Granted, it will be for more FP, but if we get that much, it will do a stronger attack. So here we just talked to that attendant, and that attendant just made us hand over our fossil metals, or dino metals, I should say, because there's very rare fossils in here, which I'm not going to dig up any of them because they're not fossils at all, they're just junk. But we have to go back here and talk to this character in pink. She just goes around us and just says, "Oh, I haven't seen you before, are you new?" And then we can just go and leave. So with leaving, we then see a little shine right there. And we have obtained our dino metals. So now this girl comes back here and is mad that the attendant ran away because her dino metals were with that man, like mine were as well. But my dino metals are very weak, which offends me very, very much. But he just left my dino metals there because they're weak, but stole this girl's because they were stronger, which they're not really that strong. But now this character will follow us and will take us just directly back to the fossil center to yell at Wendy, because apparently it's her fault that somebody that's an imposter of a fossil center employee. No, it's definitely her fault somebody stole her metals that doesn't even work at the fossil center. So Rosie will now tell us to talk to the police about this, but I think I should just go clean some fossils. Get some space in my fossil case here. So we'll clean by hand, and we'll just clean all of the new fossil rocks we have, starting with Guhweep Head right here. So Guhweep is also fairly nice for early game. It has a stat or a support effect that boosts our defense by 30%. So it just helps to make sure Spinax will live long enough for all of these fights. But Guhweep itself will be replaced fairly quickly by other Vivosaurs in later dig sites, but it's nice to have around for Chapter 1, especially when there's only 4 Vivosaurs in total you can even have. And of course, right there, just trying to clean that little debris, I damaged the fossil, so now we're not getting 100 points with this fossil either, which again is sad, because we would have liked 100. But we're not going to get it. But at the very least, we know we will be reviving Guhweep right here. So we're just cleaning the last little bits of this fossil. And we're almost done. Just gotta clean this little tip here. And we're now done with Guhweep Head. And it will now be revived. So we're now reviving Guhweep here. And here it is. Here's our Guhweep fossil. And then we will choose to continue cleaning. And then this new fossil here, which is Guhweep legs, just is a little annoying that legs is that other part that we get, because it would have been nice if we got body or arms to start off with, just so our V-Raptor would be nice and strong for this early part of the game. And yet again, damage there, I disagree with that game. I was nowhere near the area of the fossil that even got damaged with the hammer, but whatever. But just like that, Goyle Legs is already successfully cleaned, which is really nice. It will make sure Goyle is stronger then, and will give Goyle a second attack. That one only costs 10 FP more to use. Goyle's base attack is very expensive at 70 FP, but its second attack is only 10 more at 80, which is very cheap for a second skill. That second skill also has a low probability of inflicting Excite on the opponent. What Excite does is it prevents the enemy from swapping their AZ Vivosaur into the SC. Statuses in this game can only be afflicted onto AZ or the opponent's attack zone or AZ Vivosaur. However, support boosts can be applied onto anyone onto your team, including those in the SC, but they will go away if you rotate. So we now have Goyle here. It's only a rank 3. It would be nice if it was rank 4, but it isn't. But then we're going to clean this fossil here, which is V-Raptor Head. So this here will be our V-Raptor, and then we cleaned the legs for it a little bit ago. Okay, and now on to the drill, and of course right away it decides to break the fossil, which again, I disagree with that one, and it's really breaking it now. I strongly disagree with that part, game, considering I wasn't drilling on that part of the fossil at that moment in time. Come on. There we go. Then finish that little segment, and then on to this big chunk over here. But there we go, we're guaranteed to revive our V-Raptor now. Shocked the game didn't count that part of the fossil breaking there. I thought it was, considering it's been very bad about counting damage so far. There we go, there's our V-Raptor. And then our V-Raptor Head. So we'll commence revival. But yep, V-Raptor will now know 2 skills and has 2 fossil parts. And there's one more fossil here that we can clean, which is sadly Shan-Shan and not Spinax Legs. So we got all the fossils we can out of Greenhorn Plains except for Spinax Legs, which Spinax Legs would have been extremely helpful to us. But it turns out this one was Shan-Shan instead of Spinax. Of course, this one is probably going to be the one we get 100 points on too. Shan, which will be coming off our team right here. I mean, it'll still be in our reserves and gain battle points, but it's not going to be directly on our team. Yep, this one got 100 points. So here's our Shan, getting ranks up, Shan combo, continue cleaning. I should have said no, I don't know why I said yes. And we're going to exit out, and now Rosie will finally go talk to the police for you, now that I got my affairs in order. And you might see that I didn't use the VMM there to add V-Raptor and Goyle to my team. We'll be adding them in a little bit. We'll still be adding them before our next fight, but there's one that's even more directly in our path than that one is. So we're just going to go use that one instead. So now we walk in, and then Rosie demands that we speak to the captain, although any of these police officers could probably handle this, but nope, it has to be the police captain. So we take the elevator up, and then we go speak to Captain Bulwark. And then Bulwark just says, "Oh no, girl, did you lose your little dolly?" And then just suggests that we go to the Fossil Stadium and see if somebody's battling with her dino medals, because of course, you steal dino medals, so the first thing you do is definitely go to the Fossil Stadium and show them off to everyone, telling everybody, "Hey, look at these cool dino medals I just stole from this little girl." But we're gonna head over there anyways just to see what happens. So over to the Fossil Stadium. So walking over to the Fossil Stadium, Rosie's gonna be like, "Hey, did you save? Because this is gonna be a very tough battle." It isn't. Yeah, Rosie's really big on making sure we save, but it's like, no, I'm not saving, Rosie. Saving takes time. The only time I'm saving is in between chapters, just to make sure I don't lose that progress. So we speak to Tiffany just to fight someone randomly, but this is the only time you can actually talk to Tiffany to be like, "Hey, I just want to fight someone." All the other times is only specifically during level up battles. There's no other time that we can do that. But yeah, Rosie's like, "Hey, the person out there has my dino medals, so apparently PBJ stole them and is stupid enough to go in and battle." So you can see here I actually didn't put V-Raptor and Goyle on my team. I didn't need to. This fight's gonna be easy enough as it is. But PBJ goes first and uses Velociclaw. But we're now going to use Spinax Fang against V-Raptor here, which almost kills V-Raptor, but it doesn't quite. So another 12 damage to Spinax, and then auto counter does 1 back, and then Spinax from the SC there attacks mine, which will do 1 back to that Spinax. So we're just going to use Spinax Fang here. This fight, of course we get a crit there. A crit would have been nice on the first one when I already had, when it actually would have O-code. But then we're just going to use Shan Fang here, which does 29. And of course it brings the pop-up there. Sometimes it pops up end turn and sometimes it doesn't. That's just because I literally could have done nothing else. So it decided it should, but it just doesn't happen a lot that you don't have any other action you can take, so. But Spinax there just gained a few LP points, probably 1. But now we confront PBJ and it's like, Rosie's like, give me back my medals, you thief. And PBJ's like, I don't know, I just bought these from Metal Dealer Joe. So yeah, PBJ actually wasn't stupid enough to just steal medals and then go fight in the stadium with them. He just was conned himself and is nice enough to give Rosie her medals back. But now they want us to go to the Fossil Guild to talk to the information clerk to see if he knows anything about the locations of Metal Dealer Joe. So we're gonna head back over to the guild area. And head up into the Fossil Guild. And then Rosie's like, oh, yep, over there, that's the guy we want to talk to, that's the info clerk. Rosie, you're just slowing this run down, just let me go find fossils and dig them up. Don't drag me along with your little troubles. So now, the info clerk said Metal Dealer Joe went to Greenhorn Plains, so naturally he went to a dig site we can easily go to, so we're just gonna go there. Then we're just gonna cut down here to talk to Beth to go to Greenhorn Plains, but first we're going to go use this VMM. Then edit our team, then we're gonna put V-Raptor and Goyle on there. Swap it with Shan Shan because you suck, Shan Shan. And now go talk to Beth. And then we would like to go to Greenhorn Plains. So yet again, we'll do another round of fossil searching here. As soon as we see new fossil rock appear on the screen, we're just gonna stop searching because there's only one fossil new right now. There is a very, very small chance that there is more than one, but there's no way we end up getting a Tarbo fossil here, because Tarbo does require an upgraded sonar to find in Greenhorn Plains anyways, and we do not have an updated sonar. We have just the very basic one. There's the fossil. Yeah, it's just really hard to tell where some of these things are with the lag. It's gonna be nice to get this fossil sooner than later. It's not even guaranteed to appear, but since we're here, we want to search for it because it's gonna be really good to have on our Spinax. So we'll Go for that fossil. Another fossil we already have. And dig that one up. Goyle Head, we don't need you. We're only going to swap if our case says new fossil rock. And there's that fossil there, so we'll dig that one up. And I accidentally clicked A there. I didn't mean to, but I did. And then I see a breakable rock here, so we're gonna break that. Hope it has money in it. Of course it doesn't. Why would it? Why would it be the game be nice to me and give me the money I need? Or be nice to me and give me the fossil I need. That too. I don't need Shan Head. There we go, now it gave me the money, so I don't need to search in any more of those rocks, and of course it found an A input when I didn't mean to press it. I don't need Raptor Head. I don't need Shan Head. I hate when the game decides to do stuff like this to me. It's like, please just give me the fossil I need. Because this is an instance I would go back to Greenhorn Plains to find this fossil. Because Spinax will just lag too far behind then for the game. And we cannot have that happen. We need Spinax to be strong so that way we don't actually struggle through any of the fights that we use Spinax for. I don't want Goyle Head. If this was literally any other Vivosaur we were missing the part for, I wouldn't care as much. I heard a beep around here somewhere before. That wasn't that fossil, I thought. Nope, I guess there wasn't a beep there. There's the fossil. Please. And of course you're not. I don't think I even got a Spinax head here. Come on, this is probably going to be the last fossil right here. Please be Spinax. Well, it was Spinax head, but it's not the Spinax I wanted. Well, I'm just going to quickly leave and come back from Greenhorn Plains then, because I really need that Spinax fossil. And this is what I mean by the game can screw you over for RNG, because that's 2 trips. Usually by now you get everything in Greenhorn Plains. Greenhorn Plains usually isn't that bad for RNG because there's only 4 Vivosaurs there and a lot of fossils spawn. But in this case, fossils just don't want to spawn. So hopefully this is the time we get a new fossil rock. Well, I'm not starting off great with the normal rock. Or Shan Head, we don't need that. Okay, come on, you're like right on it. This leg is so annoying. I don't need Guhvhorn Head either. There we go, that's our new fossil rock. So we can now just progress with the story. Because yep, that is Spinax's legs. I'm not getting it confused with another shape this time because the only other thing is the extremely rare Tarbo spawn, but that won't spawn until I have an upgraded sonar, and I don't have one. But we're not even going to try and get Tarbo right now. Tarbo becomes much easier to grind or to find in a different dig site, which is a post-game only dig site, but it's still much more common, and we have to beat the story anyways. Because there's 20 Vivosaurs that are accessible only in the post-game, unless you get them from the shop or anything else. You could, in theory, use the fossil cannon, but that's not great because you still have to go to the post-game to get Trima. Like I said earlier, the only fossils, or Trima fossils only come in dark fossil rocks and they cannot be sent through the fossil cannon. Plus, with this being on emulator, I can't even use the fossil cannon because of that. Plus, also the rules of the category don't allow you to use the fossil cannon. Because in theory, you could just basically get all the fossils, all the rare fossils on a separate pile yourself, while not being timed, and then just send them over here. And now all of a sudden I have all of the rare fossils in the game. Just like that, and I didn't have to worry about RNG. But we're now in a fossil battle against Metal Dealer Joe. This fight will be a little bit slower because we weren't able to get those Spinax legs on Spinax before this fight. It doesn't make sense to go back, clean the legs, and then come back here to fight Joe. Oh, right there we got a crit on Guhvhorn to kill it in one hit, which is really nice. Then Metria there used Green Fang. And then Shan is going to use Shan Fang, which does 6 damage and will do 1 back to Shan. And then we're going to use Spinax Fang again, which does 41. We're gonna hope V-Raptor here can kill from the SZ. It only has to deal 6, so it's possible. Okay, it does a crit 14. So it does kill the Metria. I find it weird though, just the weirdness of Chapter 1, the Vivosaurs you face. Because there's only 4 Vivosaurs you can find in Greenhorn Plains. So there's a very small selection that opponents can use from just that dig site. So they use just other air types as well from other dig sites. But once you get later in the story, that's not the case. They just use stuff that you can already access yourself. Except for the BB bandits, and specifically Rex. Rex just decides I'll use Mole's Secret Tunnel Vivosaurs, which isn't available to you until Chapter 6, I believe. But here we're getting extra rank up screens, which we would have been able to skip if we got 100 points on those fossils, meaning it is a little bit slower. But overall, it's not too bad. But we now beat Metal Dealer Joe, and Rosie gets her little Dino medals back. But now that we have the second Spinax fossils and all the fossils we need for V-Raptor, the game kind of, what we use for Vivosaurs kind of opens up for a while. So, we're we'll just see what we get. I did not mean to save state there. But we basically will just use whatever the game gives us for a while here. And the game is lagging. But now that we beat Metal Dealer Joe, the police came, took him away, and Bulwark's like, hey, you should go do level up battles. Those are starting soon. So once we beat that round of level up battles, we'll end this chapter and start chapter 2. So we're going to return to town using this VMM. And we're back onto the main area of Vivosaur Island, specifically the fighter area. And now there's fireworks going off at the Fossil Stadium. Yay! So, what's happening here is... they're just announcing that level up battles are starting soon. But like, we knew that already. We were told that by Boulevard. But we have to be told a second time. But we're not quite going to do those level up battles yet. There's one fossil we would like to clean since we're already here in the fight by the fossil center already, and that's those Spinax legs. That'll make this level up battle go a whole lot easier. Spinax will actually be quite a bit stronger because Spinax probably will gain 2 levels here. Plus gets access to his second skill, which granted is 150 FP, so we're only going to use that if Goyle or V-Raptor die in some way. But it's very unlikely that they will die, so we're probably just going to be using Spinax Fang anyways. But these levels will raise Spinax's attack stat anyways, so he'll do more damage even with his base attack then. But this will be our last fossil from Greenhorn Plains in quite a while. I'm shocked that didn't actually cause any damage there. I thought it was about to, because I definitely hovered over that area for too long. But here we go, we got 100 points on Spinax legs, which guarantees that Spinax will be rank 4. And we're now going to integrate that. So Spinax is now rank 4 and gets access to Spinax combo, and we are now done cleaning, because that was the only fossil we needed. We're now going to go this way and go do our level up battle. So to do that, we'll head over to the Fossil Stadium. But yes, we would like to participate in a level up battle. So we're going to have to head through those doors, and before we actually do the battle portion, we have to do our cleaning test. So we have to clean a fossil to 55 points, which is slightly higher than what you normally have to clean a fossil to. Normally, you only have to clean a fossil to 50 points to successfully clean it, but this time you have to clean it to 55, and that'll gradually tick up higher and higher for every level that we try to reach, with the max being 80 to become master rank or a master fighter. So now that we're done hammering, we'll switch to the drill and drill this fossil or drill the rock away to actually reveal the fossil. And it does suck that these fossils are, what the game says at the very beginning, are fake fossils, so we don't actually get to clean or revive them, so how well we do doesn't really matter. So like that damage there that we just did doesn't matter, as long as we get at least 55 points, we'll be fine. Because yeah, we don't revive this and keep it anyways, so there's no point in actually doing it well. We just have to do it good enough. Like we already passed there, but we don't want to just let time run out, because if we clean away all the rock, the cleaning will end and we will save a little time by doing that. But we're nearing the end here anyways. Yeah, we're almost done, just gotta reveal that last little bit there. So yeah, by continuing on cleaning, we just saved 38 seconds compared to just letting the clock run out. But we successfully did our cleaning test, so now we get to do our battle part of the test. And with these level up battles, they're always against somebody you know. Most of the time it's against somebody that got introduced to you in that chapter, but you don't directly know who it is until you actually go in. But this Chapter 1 Level Up Master, because that's what they're called, is the Level Master. The Level 1 Master is the most obscure one. It is Wendy, the Fossil Center Receptionist. And I believe, to my memory, you can battle all of the Level Masters again, except for Wendy. Because the Chapter 2 one, I know you get to fight again. Same thing with Chapter 3 is actually the person we grind against. Chapter 4, I know you can fight again. The Chapter 5 one you can, and the Chapter 6 one you can. And then Chapter 7 and 8 don't have level masters, they just have bosses at the end of them instead of level masters. So Wendy went first and used a poison skill on V-Raptor, which actually did succeed in working and poisoned my Spine Axe, which I don't like, but we're just gonna take the poison. So Wendy then swaps the V-Raptor back and brings Goyo up for Rockhead on Goyle, which I find very interesting. I'm surprised it didn't attack Spine Axe. And then, yeah, the AI for most of these fights is not good. Ironically enough, the best AI is just some random trainer in the process of leveling up in Chapter 6. Because the level up battles end up getting more people you have to fight. So the most is 3 people you have to fight to level up, and the first two are just random trainer or random fighters that you've never heard of before. And that first one seems to have the best AI of anybody in the game, which is weird. But also that those higher up fossil battles also have extra stipulations to them. So that one does just go with what would make the most sense for that to just be annoying to the player. It wouldn't be beneficial to them to actually win, but to stop the player themselves, which is ultimately what the AI should be doing, that does make the best decision. But we're just finishing up the battle here. We're about to beat Wendy. We now have. So we're now going to be a level 2 fighter. And as you can see, all of our team has a green outline on their dino medals, a green health bar, and a green background with the screens you just saw after battle. That's because all of them are air types. Greenhorn Plains, the main area of it, only has air types. But now that we're a level 2 fighter, we're going to get introduced to other elemental types, which is really nice. But Wendy's just giving us tips. We can read those books to get hints about other level up masters, or level up battles to come. We're not reading those because that just wastes time. Now Rosie comes in and introduces her grandpa to us, Mr. Richmond, who is basically the league chair of Pokemon for Vivosaur Island. But yeah, he's the one that established all of these kinds of established fossil fighting on this island here. Well, him and Dr. Diggins did together, but he's the one that gets the most credit for it. Although Dr. Diggins is the one that actually created how it worked. So we're now just going to save here for chapter... Well, I forgot to save, but... in real time, that took us 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 59 seconds to beat chapter 1. Which is much slower than the normal any percent speedrun. But since we forgot to save there, I'm just going to save here so we can see our in-game time of 49 minutes, which is also fairly slow compared to the any percent speedrun. But that's because we just desperately needed Spinax, and we might as well just clean everything. Where with the any percent speedrun, you would not just clean everything. So we're just gonna go, we're gonna see how far into chapter 2 we get today. We might be able to finish it, but I definitely don't see us starting chapter 3, so. But Beth will now let us, or now that we're a level 2 fighter, another dig site has unlocked, Knotwood Forest. So we're now going to do a little story progression there inside of Knotwood Forest. So we're now on a boat on our way to Knotwood Forest, which every time we go to a dig site for the first time, it has to do that long cutscene of the boat going off, which is weird. And then Holt here is going to talk to us about, oh yeah, the shop is now open and you can now actually just upgrade your stuff. So we see here, holy cow, Holt's sonar is huge. And those are the prices to upgrade things. Those fossil chips are very important for us to get. We ultimately have to get all of those upgrades to actually be able to find Vivosaurs in one of the post-game dig sites, but for now, so I'm purposely kind of hugging the left here for finding fossils, because if we go too far in a certain direction, we'll enter a cutscene which will then force us out of Knotwood Forest. But I want the fossils here as much as possible, because that's just one less fossil that we don't know what it is, and we know what it is, so if it comes up and our case is full, we just know we already have it, throw it away, in favor of a new one. And here we find a jewel rock, which is actually really nice to get. We'll be able to upgrade the size of our fossil sonar here, which will be helpful then. So here, you now see Lambio has a red circle around it, meaning it is a fire type. Air type attacks do neutral damage to fire types, so it's almost like Lambio is just air type anyways in this scenario, because we don't gain attack power or lose attack power from elemental advantages here anyways, but... So I technically could have attacked with V-Raptor there, however even swapping it up into the AZ it probably wouldn't have killed without doing its more expensive skill. But now that Spinax is enraged and I have enough FP, I will swap V-Raptor up and use its 80 FP skill, which should definitely KO the Lambio. And it did, so we won the battle and got the fossil, or got the jewel rock, not fossil rock. So we got the jewel rock. Our case is full, so we're going to swap it for a different rock. And we're going to swap it for the Goyle Head, because that's the first one there. Yes, swap, please. Okay, now we're inside this cutscene here. And now Rosie's complaining to this guard that, oh, why won't you let me through? Like, please let me through. I want the fossils that lie behind here. So we're just talking here with Rosie, and Rosie's like, well, I'll talk to my grandfather. He's the one that is the boss around here, so let me talk to him to see if what's gonna happen, but in other words, she's using her privilege of being the basically owner's granddaughter to be like, hey, I want to go anywhere. Because this is my island, because my grandpa owns it. So yeah, Mr. Richmond says that Dr. Diggins would be able to give us a pass to get through there, but he's really busy, so we have to bribe him with something, and we're going to bribe him with dino cakes. So we're just gonna walk all the way to the Fossil Guild, then up to the shop, in which of course the shopkeeper has to explain everything. So we're going to buy today's special. For 50G, that is why we broke two of those breakable rocks for money, because each one gives 40 in Greenhorn Plains. They do give 50 in Knotwood Forest, but it's very unlikely you get it that very first trip to Knotwood because of that cutscene. But we did have enough to buy it without selling a fossil rock, which wouldn't have mattered too much. We have to run back to the shop anyways because we got a jewel rock. So we're just going to clean that jewel rock to sell it back. Plus, we also got an extra fossil there. But we'll now talk with Dr. Diggins here, and eventually in this conversation, he will give us a pass to get farther into Knotwood Forest. But right now he's in a big dilemma, but it's like, oh, we have dino cakes. Do you want some of those for that pass? And Diggins goes crazy for dino cakes. But yeah, Diggins really wants the dino cakes, so we give them to him and he gives us what we need. And then here's the clearance card we needed. But now we're just going to do a little bit of cleaning first. Yeah, we're just going to go up here. And then here, Clean's going to explain about donation points. So if we clean a fossil and it isn't as good as the original, or of what we have integrated right now, it'll be donated and we get donation points for it. If we get enough donation points, we can buy very rare fossils, which we will end up having to buy because there are 4 Vivosaurs there that can only be found there. But we're first going to clean this jewel rock, which is a pearl. Is there... Oh, it's an emerald this time. That's really not common. It's usually pearls in Knotwood Forest, with emeralds happening, I think, an eighth of the time? I'm not quite sure on the math, but I'm pretty sure it's an eighth. And I meant to say keep cleaning because we got 1 new fossil rock as well. And we want that fossil rock cleaned, so it's just 1 less thing we need to worry about. Because if we end up getting any more of these, looks like Venator or Venator heads, we can just throw them away because we already have one. Now we can start drilling to expose the fossil. And in context of the game, having a timer here makes sense. However, in real life, why would you have a timer for cleaning a fossil? If anything, you'd want to go nice and slow and not rush through it and take 90 seconds to do it at the most. But in the game, it makes sense so you don't just very carefully go through everything to make everything at 100 points. Because you can, in theory, for all non-dark fossils, just use the drill to go along and just very slowly clean the fossil, but that won't be fun, so the timer encourages you to use the hammer so you can actually finish in time. Clean that away. And we just passed the halfway mark for time, and we're well past the halfway mark in terms of actual clearing out the fossils, so it's looking good. And we're soon to get our Venator here. Or Venator, however you pronounce it. It probably is Venator, but I say Venator. But this is a really good Vivosaur to pick up. This does add up, give us a new elemental type, and for this part of the game, Venator isn't terrible. It will get swapped out probably as soon as we get our first donation point Vivosaur. But for now, it's definitely not bad to have. And granted, we do need to get it at some point or another. But we now have revived 5 of the 100 Vivosaurs we need to revive, so we're 5% of the way done. But we haven't unlocked Rivet Ravine yet, and if Rivet Ravine is anything, or means anything to you, it has literally almost... it has a third of the fossils in the game. You can see there I swapped Goyle out, because Goyle, like I said, is good for Chapter 1, and that's about it. Because that defense boost doesn't give a whole lot once your opponents start getting higher ranked. It's just in Chapter 1, everything you face is level 1, and you can be a lot higher than level 1. So we're going to go back to the Fossil Guild and then just sell everything we have. And then the shopkeeper's gonna explain about selling things, but whatever, just let me sell my items. So I got $1,600 worth of stuff. It would be nice to save up to $2,000 here and just go for a case upgrade. However, the sonar upgrade for size would be very beneficial, especially with all the lag I'm having, because I can see stuff farther out. But we're gonna get the monitor upgrade first, and then expand our case from 8 to 16. But monitor upgrade 1. But yeah, so like I mentioned earlier with we don't go back to dig sites very often in the main story. We're going to see in Chapter 3 that not be the case, because we're going to want to grind money a lot. So if we're grinding for money, we have to go back there anyways, and we might as well just get all the fossils we can then in the Chapter 3 dig site at the time. Because I believe there are 8 in total that are not rare inside that dig site. So we can go for those 8 at that time. And then get the other, let's see, there's 32 in total, so the other 24. Yeah, grab the other 24 later. Because by the time we have to return there in Chapter 8, then everything will be open to us in that dig site. Which we probably won't even have enough space in our case for anyways. Even if we have 64 items in our case, or full case upgrades, we still probably won't have enough and have to make multiple trips. That's just how many Vivosaurs are in that dig site. But I'm trying to think if the story pushes us to the Chapter 3 dig site at any other point that's not Chapter 8. I don't think so. Once that segment of the story is done, we don't have to go back to that dig site. But we can now talk to this attendant, and he'll let us through, but he's like, well, it's still dangerous here, so I have to make sure you can actually battle. So he's gonna battle us, but first teaches us about elemental types. So there are 5 elemental types: fire, earth, air, water, and neutral. Fire is good against earth, earth is good against air is good against water, and water is good against fire. With neutral just being good, not good or bad against anything. It just does neutral damage. So, when you think about these types, do not think about the Pokemon types, because it will not help you in most cases. Sure, the green type beats the blue type, so air beating water. However, air is more related to flying, I guess, in total. Water beating fire makes sense, but usually you're used to seeing earth, so the ground type, ground and rock being good against fire, but in this case, fire is good against it. And then ground is good against air, in which ground would usually be immune to, or flying would usually be immune to ground, I should say. But then weak to rock, so. In other words, the types are a whole lot more simplified here, and I like them being more simplified. Because it's actually easy to remember everything, and what's good against what, and what's not good against what. Because everything is good against one thing and bad against another. Except for neutral, which just isn't good against anything or isn't bad against anything. But this battle here isn't too hard, even though we do have an air type facing an earth type at points. But this should do a lot of damage to Electro because it is weak to air, because it's a water type. But we're just gonna quick kill it off here with V-Raptor, which definitely should do at least 8 with the elemental bonus it has. But then Venator's probably... Oh, it doesn't actually use Venator combo, it just uses Venator Bite. It might not be able to use Venator combo, honestly. It's probably rank 1. Yeah, the ranks of... Yeah, it is rank 1. But the rank of your opponents don't really get that high. It's like the final boss is rank 8, I believe, for everything. You usually are either rank 11 or 12 at that point. So, it's just one interesting fact. But we beat the attendant, so he'll now let us proceed farther into the dig site. So what is interesting is here in Knotwood Forest, or Greenhorn Plains gives us our first access to air types. Greenhorn Plain or Knotwood Forest gives us our first access to earth and fire types. So it's weird that we're given access to fire types and your opponents will use fire types, but water types cannot be found until Chapter 3, with the first two being accessible being Electro and Nassar, but they're still not super strong water types, and then you get to Chapter 4, which is almost only water types, which is just very weird, but... So yeah, right now, the only way to get a water type is if the Fossil Guild, that shop, is selling a head fossil of a water type Vivosaur. That's the only way to get one right now. Meaning, effectively, fire types have no weaknesses right now. So here we led with Spinax in the AZ, although Patchy is there as an earth type. So it would do more damage, but it just decides to attack Venator, which I'm surprised it chose to do, considering it has an elemental advantage over my other two Vivosaurs. But at the very least, Patchy is a long-range Vivosaur, so it doesn't lose attack power attacking the SC. Might be choosing Venator because it either has the lowest health or is the lowest rank, maybe? But either way, it still doesn't matter. It's not gonna win, so... right there, we just won with a crit of 49 damage. Now everything is just getting a little bit more... The Fossil Fighter is left, we get the Jewel Rock. So one thing we're going to do here, though, is once we get everything from this main area of the dig site, we're actually just going to leave and not progress the story. So we'll clean these fossils, get an empty case, so that way we have an empty case going into the Dig-a-Dig-a-Mid, which has Vivosaurs in there that are found nowhere else. The two Vivosaurs found in there are Patchy, we just fought one, and then Lexo. So we're going to go dig up that fossil. New fossil rock, which isn't surprising, considering the only fossil rock we have dug up here is Venator Head, and there are 3 out in this main area we can dig up. Venator, S-Raptor, and Nycha. So we're fighting for just a regular fossil here, meaning it has a very good chance of being a rare fossil. So I'm going to have to make sure that I remember where it is in the case, so that way I clean that one first, so that way I don't clean a regular version of it and then just sell the rare. Because rare fossils, well, there are fossils that are actually rare in the sense that it's very unlikely for you to find them, and then what the game actually calls a rare fossil is a red bone fossil. So it's any part of a Vivosaur that their bone, instead of being that normal color, is red, that'll give us a bonus 25 points to each fossil. So if it gets a bonus 25 points, that's two less battles we have to take it, and we have to do with that Vivosaur on our team, meaning we don't have to grind as much. So rare fossils are nice in the sense that we don't have to grind as much, but we're only going to take rare fossils or battle for fossils if it says new fossil rock. Because ones that, because like I said, it has an increased chance of being rare. So what that means is it's not guaranteed to be rare, and we just lost time for something that might not necessarily be a rare fossil. And that's the only chance to get rare fossils just normally is through that method. You can't just dig into the ground, find a fossil, and it to be rare. You have to battle for it. So you find it, a fighter pops out, you fight for it, then you get it. So that fossil was the last one. That rare one was the last one to fill up the case, so we're going to be starting with the 8th fossil in our case first. But like I said, right there, we found all of the fossils in the main area of the dig site, so we're gonna leave, go clean this, get an empty case, and then come back so we can actually clean or find the fossils in the Dig-A-Dig-A-Mid without having to throw away actually new fossils. Because there's probably some duplicates in here. Like those last 3 are probably all the same fossil. So yeah, here you can see it actually isn't a rare fossil. So that's what I mean, is when you battle for it, it is not guaranteed to be rare, it's just more likely. Or, I shouldn't even say more likely, there is a chance for it to be rare. Which I think is stupid, it should be guaranteed if I have to fight for it. But right away we ended up dealing damage to the fossil, which, whatever. It'll still be fine because we'll be using this Vivosaur on our team anyways enough times where it'll essentially be if we got it to 100 points anyways. But we're not even halfway done time-wise for cleaning this fossil, and we're already into the smashing success range with the fossil, and just like that we cleaned with 3 seconds after halfway through time-wise. So 99 points. We get another leg fossil for S-Raptor this time. We will be adding S-Raptor to our team once we revive it. But we'll see if we have any more of those triple fossils because, yep, right there, those 2 triples do still say new, because there are a lot of those triples here. Here we get Nycha's Head, which we will not be using Nychus, but we have to revive it. It's one of the 100 Vivosaurs in the game, so we have to revive it. So now we're going to go use the drill, expose the rest of the fossil. And we've already successfully cleaned the fossil, but we want to get more points. That way we don't have to grind Nychus as much once we get to that stage of the run, which, granted, it won't be for quite a while until we get to that stage of the run, but the grinding is very boring. It's literally just mashing A for the most part. There's some mashing B, and you do have to do some menuing, but it's just very repetitive and very not fun to do, but there we go. 100 points for Nycha. Nycha's Head, commencing revival. You can see here, Nycha is a fire type by the little flame and red next to the name Nycha. And now we get to see a revival. It's rank 2, has low LP, not really good at rank 2. I mean, it's not really good just in general. But here we'll see S-Raptor Head. We'll want to make sure we clean this fossil good. Well, at the very least, clean it successfully. Because, like I mentioned earlier, we will be putting S-Raptor on the team. Because out of the fire types you can get here in Knotwood Forest, S-Raptor is the better of the two. And right now we just need type diversity because we really only have air types and then just a very weak Venator, so. The game's kind of struggling right now with lag, but it's running at the very least, so. Clean up that little mess of giblets there. Start down here, clean its lower jaw. So it's now at least a successful cleaning, but now we just go for as many points as possible. The more points the better, because the stronger S-Raptor will be, and plus the closer to rank 12 it'll be. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, because rank 12 is a very big thing to get everything to. Now we just have to clean away these little specks here. And there we go, 100 points for S-Raptor Head. We can now revive S-Raptor, and we've already cleaned its legs, so it should be 1 point away from rank 4 because we got 99 points on its legs. But here we go, S-Raptor legs. S-Raptor, similarly to Venator, really good or decent enough in this stage of the game. Like I said, it's the best fire type of the two we can get access to right now. But it's going to be replaced by the Chapter 6 Vivosaur we get. But here we see another leg fossil. This one is for Venator. So this will make Venator actually usable. Granted, it has been on our team just for type diversity already, but it will actually be able to hold its own now with this fossil. Because instead of just barely outranking its opponents, it's gonna greatly outrank its opponents. And sure, overranking takes away the difficulty, but it makes battles go faster, which we want in a speedrun. But we're almost done here, and time hasn't even hit the halfway mark yet. We'll just clean that little speck there, and with 51 seconds left, we're already done with the fossil. And there's Venator legs. So right now the only fossil we're missing from the main area of Knotwood Forest is Nycha's legs. If it's still in our case and we clean it, great. That's nice that we have everything. If we don't, it's whatever. We might be able to come back for it later. But we're not going to specifically look for it right now. But those two there, we definitely have everything we need from the main area of Knotwood Forest, which is really nice to know. But here we have another emerald, which is surprising that we've gotten 2 for Dual Rocks, considering Pearl is usually the one you get from Knotwood Forest. But I know I'm not going to get this luck when I'm grinding next chapter for money. I'm going to get emeralds instead of diamonds. Because emeralds is the base, or the lesser kind of jewel you can get in the 3rd dig site, and diamonds the higher of the two. Diamonds being worth more, and the one you want, which more diamonds I get, the less grinding I have to do, but we'll just roll with this. But yep, here's the Nycha's legs, so we actually have every fossil we need from the main area of Knotwood Forest. That's really nice to get on our first, well, technically our 2nd trip, but what's basically our first. Plus, I think we also got a Venator head as that 100-point fossil in our case still. So we would have gotten everything then, but yeah, we just want to clean this fossil, get it integrated. So although we won't be using Nycha at all for fighting, it gets it closer to rank 12. Which means less grinding we have to do. And we should just have to clean up a little bit up here, and the fossil should be done. 100 points for Nycha's legs, which is great. But yep, the fossil is complete. It can be integrated. Now Nycha's is rank 4. 2 ranks closer to 12 than it was. And no, we're not going to continue cleaning. And then you can see there's a drop off by cleaning option there. So we're going to take these 2 fossils. Yeah, that one was Venator head. So we did actually get the 6 possible in one trip to Knotwood, which is really nice. But we're going to drop those fossils off to clean. You'll clean them at not better than 100 points because you can't exceed 100 points if you don't get a rare fossil, which neither of those 2 are. But because of that, we'll get donation points from them and start our donation point grind. We'll end up needing, at the very least, 325 donation points. However, practically we're going to need a whole lot more because we're going to want every single fossil for the every single fossil for the donation point Vivosaurs and not just the head. That way we don't have to grind as much because we're definitely going to get a lot of donation points. But if we don't have to, we'll settle for the heads. But it'll be 800 plus 400, which is 12, 315. It'll be 1,700 donation points for everything. So we're going to need a lot of donation points to get all the Vivosaurs we want. But also the good part is the more fossils we clean, the higher level Clean himself gets, meaning the better quality fossils he'll get, or he'll clean, meaning the more donation points we get per fossil. So once we get into the post-game with those post-game dig sites, there are some rare Vivosaurs in there that just struggle to actually show up. So we're going to be sending a lot of fossils to actually clean, meaning we'll get high intakes of donation points at once. Like we'll get like 128 from one, or from telling clean to clean just one batch. So, but first we want to get up to 200 donation points as quickly as possible, because 200 donation points gives us the Vivosaur we want the most. Or gives us access to the Vivosaur that will end up replacing Venator on our team. But now we're just going to go up this path and talk to the Dig-a-Digs here. They are natives to Knotwood Forest and have a pyramid that they call the Dig-a-Digamid behind their village. And there is a group of people inside that Dig-a-Digamid that shouldn't be there, and we have to go take care of that because it's always our problem. Never theirs, it's always our problem. That's how everything goes. I'm just a young kid. Let me just go find fossils. Why do you need me to save your village? Later on, why do I need to save you from sharks? Later on, why do I need to rescue you from being kidnapped? Like, it's never my problem, it's your problem. Oh, you lost your tools. Yep, that's definitely my problem. It's a lot of stuff like that. But we're now gonna go talk to the chieftain of the village. And he's gonna tell us to go into the Dig-a-Digamid and go solve the problems. The ones in the Dig-a-Digamid are fossil fighters, and the villagers here are not fossil fighters, so they can't actually fight. But there we can see a view of the Dig-a-Digamid. And then specifically he asks Rosie to help them. So Rosie agrees. And then the chieftain will... And then Rosie's like, yep, I'll help, and then, yep, you're gonna help as well. But then Rosie's like, do I get a reward for doing this? And the chieftain's like, hey, let me just put a spell on you, because, yeah, that's your reward. So, by putting a spell on Rosie, it's shocking her with lightning. And now she is passed out. And now she's mad that the chieftain did this, and she's like, oh, I can't stop saying Digga before every single word that starts with a D. Like, oh no. And then she passes out again, so now it's completely up to us to save the Dig-a-Digamid, which, granted, it would have been anyways, Rosie is useless. But we're now going to go to the Dig-a-Digamid. Plus it has fossils in there anyways that we need, so we might as well just go help them. Why not? Oh, hello there. Hi, person. Oh, you're attacking me, and you're called Shady Guy. I guess I'll fight you. And now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot to put S-Raptor on my team. Whatever. I don't think he even... Oh, you do use a fire type. But I believe you lead with Goyo anyway, so I'm gonna put Venator out in front. And of course you'll lead with Stygie. Never mind. Yeah, this is one example of your opponent's using Fire-type Vivosaurs, which have essentially no weaknesses at this point of the game. Because you can't get Water or Neutral Vivosaurs until Chapter 3. neutral isn't as big of a deal because it's not like they have a weakness anyways, and it's not like they have a strength anyways either. But fire-type Vivosaurs are good against Earth, which you can get Earth Vivosaurs at this point of the game. So you should be able to get water to counteract that, but nope, you can't. Of course, you go for a second attack to make things longer. Why wouldn't you, little bandit? But we defeated Stygie, and now it's just Goyle left. But I say Goyo, not Goyle. G-O-Y-O and not G-O-Y-L-E. But now Venator should be able to come out, and Venator can do more damage than Spinax because of an elemental advantage. So we're gonna use Venator Bite, which kills Goyo in one hit. And we beat the little shady character. And it's good. They're gonna run away. Now let's go hunting for some fossils in here. New fossil rock. Nice. It's almost like we're only gonna get new fossil rocks right now. And then this little bone maze. We'll destroy that one. Of course, that one had money in it. Got 50 or 60 G. And we'll destroy that one. And destroy that one. That one also had 60 G in it. And then, oh, hello there, little dog. Aren't you friendly? Oh, or you're not friendly, and you're also attacking me. Why is everything trying to attack me in this pyramid? And why is a dog commanding dinosaurs to battle? But here, again, we're going to lead with Venator because the dog only uses air types, so an earth type would be really good against them. So Nodo uses Nodo Tackle to deal 7 damage against Venator. And then we're going to use Venator Bite back onto Nodo, which has the highest defense of any Vivosaur in the game. But we do a critical 58 damage to it and should be able to take it out next turn. Then Nodo uses Nodo Combo for 19. And then we're going to use another Venator Bite to kill off the Nodo. So we defeated the Nodo, and now it's just Megath left, which is a giant sloth that is surprisingly fast for being a sloth. But uses Slow Blow. It has the word slow in it, but nope, it's speed. It has a very fast speed. Then we'll Venator Bite it ourselves to do 49. Then we're just going to rotate Spinax in to get the kill and defeat the dog. Spinax definitely can do 13, 39 for sure. Probably didn't actually need to switch, but we beat the dog. Venator, Spinax, V-Raptor, Shan, Goyle, all of them get more LP. Which that's all the stronger they get when they don't, unless they rank up. LP increases after every or LP can increase just by getting battle points or just by cleaning fossils, but all their other stats only increase by ranking up. That changed in the sequel, Fossil Fighters Champions. The only time you even gain LP in that game is by ranking up. But earlier, since I forgot to use the VMM to add S-Raptor onto my team, I'm going to do that here. And then Shan's long, adventurous journey comes to an end. And then V-Raptor can go into the reserves. So we'll keep V-Raptor on our team for a decent while. Because, like I said in Chapter 3, there is a battle that we are forced to use it in. So we might as well just keep it on our team so it grows stronger until then. Where are those fossils? I heard it. There it is. Oh, I guess Long-Nosed Man is gonna talk first before I can actually get to it. Whatever. So, Long-Nosed Man, let's fight. And then Long-Nosed Man here likes to use Earth types, so we're gonna switch S-Raptor up into the front, because although it does have one air type, it's not gonna lead with Goyle. It's gonna lead with Karchar, which also has a long nose, fitting for the Long-Nosed Man. So he does, with him having less LP, he gets to attack first and uses Massive Jaws. It's just 38 damage, which is quite a chunk. But we're going to use S-Fang, which should do even more of a chunk. 54. It is definitely more of a chunk. And Massive Jaws. Alright, I forget Goyle actually boosts attack and not defense. Still, that support effect isn't a whole lot and doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, mostly. But there, we're able to get the knockout on Karchar. And since we have 60 FP, we're going to switch Venator up into the attack zone to get a boosted elemental attack off onto Goyle. But yeah, now with this triple combo of Spinax, Venator, and S-Raptor, we have pretty good type coverage for now. Once we get later on into the game, we don't really even have type coverage, because we just use a water type as our main attacker. And once we get into the post game, we just use the secret 6th type to attack, which is really just neutral, but called something else. But yeah, it's still just a neutral type, disguised as something that is not a neutral type. But there, we got the kill on Goyle to beat the Long-Nosed Man, to gain 3 battle points, and S-Raptor ranked up to rank 4. So its stats increased, LP by 3, LP by 2, LP by 1, probably 1 here, yep. But we now beat the Long-Nosed Man, so like typical fashion, I beat you, so you have to run away. Oh wait, no, I beat you, so you just trick me into falling down into a hole. And here you do. Here you put me into a hole, which I just so conveniently stood on for you. And now a voice speaks to us. Their name is, first she says with her psychic powers that what our name is, and we're a level 2 fighter. Oh wait, you just found our fighter's license, but you're Nevada Monte Carlo. So great, you're named after 2 places that are known for gambling. But she says she's been trapped here for a while, and she knows there's a key around here somewhere, or a fossil key called a Keymanite. But her sonar got busted on the fall, so she can't look for it. But ours didn't get busted, so we can look for it. But oh, we have to clean it because it's still in a bunch of rock. But here you can see how this fossil is just a little bit more frail, and this is what I was talking about earlier about frail fossils, where the hammer just destroys a whole lot more rock. There's still fossils even more frail than this one, but you get your first glimpse at, oh, durability just actually can change, and it's not just the typical durability, and it can be very, very frail. You don't want to hammer those fossils. The first fossil we'll probably see like that is going to be Electro Head. It's possible Coatless Legs is also our first fossil we see of that kind, which also is the kind you don't want to hammer. Both of those are from the Chapter 3 dig site. But it's a lot easier to pick out Venator Head above other fossils. Here, we finally can find that fossil. It's been taunting us for a while. A new fossil rock. Another new fossil rock. It's almost like we haven't cleaned a single rock from in here before, so everything's gonna appear new. Of course, he stood right there, Nevada, so I couldn't swing my pickaxe. So, this fossil here's probably gonna fill up our case. Yep, I say probably because it could have just been a normal rock. So now any fossil we find will have to go into our case. Basically what I'll know to throw away is, you know what shapes fossils can come in here, and you just know what you want to throw away. Because things of the same shape probably are the same fossil. So like here we have a lot of fossils with those scratch marks, so I'm just gonna throw away this new fossil. And actually, I think I want to go open my case, but there are 4 different shapes in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's 4 new shapes, so I'm actually just going to stop looking for fossils anyways. Because there's only 4 new fossils in here, just in general, and I have 4 new fossils. So yeah, I'm not even going to bother searching for fossils, although there are more up here. There's no point in searching. But here, oh, we run into the dog and longnose man again. What are you doing standing up here? And why are you saying that, oh, quick, look busy before the boss sees us? Is your boss here? Oh, woman's voice, who is that? Oh, it's Purple Hair Lady. Oh, so it's just Jesse, James, and Meowth, but actually with more character and personality. But yeah, so the mystery woman introduces the dog as Rex, Longnose Man as Snivels, and herself as Vivian. And it turns out, oh, you're not actually the boss, you're just the boss of that little trio. Oh, you're just gonna run into us and make us confused. And then, oh, lock us in a room. That's not good. How do we get out? We're locked in. Oh, you found an ancient script? Oh, you don't know how to read it? It totally just says a secret passage lies between the 2 unbreakable bones, so just dig here, Nevada. It's not that hard. But yeah, that puzzle there itself is actually very cryptic, and a lot of people do struggle with it the first time, because who's gonna read up and down? And even if you do, the letters don't really line up that well. to read up and down. But yeah, it does say a secret passage hides between the two unbreakable bones. And then dig after. But we found the secret passage, and conveniently enough, we're at the entrance. So now we're ahead of the BBs. So if we walk farther into the Digamid again, we'll end up fighting them. Or running into them at the very least, because why would we fight them? We already beat 2 of them. And also Nevada, she's the better fighter. She was the one assigned to come here originally, so she better fight them anyways. So yeah, good. Somebody's actually going to do something. She's going to fight Nevada instead of us. Oh, wait, you lost your dino medals? Why does everyone on this island keep losing their medals? Rex, why did you steal them? So I guess we have to fight Nevada because it's always our problem and not other people's. Or not fight Nevada, we have to fight Vivian. But she uses 2 fire types, so we're going to put Spinax out in front. But here we get to fight Vivian. She has less LP than us, so she gets to go first. But we're just gonna go use Spinax Fang against her Nycha and hopefully take it out in 1 hit. We don't. Oh well, it would have been nice to make sure we can avoid poison here, to guarantee that, because here's the poison attack, and Spinax probably will get poisoned. It's not guaranteed to always work, but I believe it's a 70% chance to poison. But we're just gonna use Spinax Fang, attack Nycha, and Nycha should die there, and it does. But we're just gonna take the poison damage. And now Lambio will attack with maybe counting coup? Nope, just Lambio combo. Which, I believe this Enrage is only 50% to work, but it seems to always work. So because we're enraged, we're just gonna swap S-Raptor down, and I could have swapped down to remove the poison, but I just took it because I knew Enrage was gonna happen there. So because of that, I wanted to just have Spinax get it, then switch out instead of dealing with being enraged. But here it's probably gonna enrage and be annoying. Oh, it didn't. That's nice. We can just win here without having to worry about missing. So what Enrage does is it raises your Vivosaur's attack slightly, but also reduces their accuracy. And whenever accuracy is reduced, it's not fun to deal with. So I just will switch out most of the time, or just not attack with that Vivosaur if they're enraged. But you can see here, we now beat Vivian. So now, since we beat you, you have to hand over your stolen goods that you were trying to escape with. And we recovered the treasure. And they walk farther into the pyramid, but somehow leave. Yes, that makes complete sense. And yay, victory music. We beat the BB bandits. So we'll go talk to the chieftain. Oh, they were trying to steal a little tacky idol. Why would they steal that? It's just some random idol. It's worthless. Why would you want that? It's, as the name describes, tacky. Oh, you're giving it to me? Why? I don't want it either. But, oh, look, here comes Rosie. And she's still saying Bigga all the time. But she's gonna ask the chieftain to be like, to remove the spell from her. So the chieftain complies and shocks her with electricity yet again. And there's the electricity. But instead of actually removing it, he made it worse and just said it'll go away over time. But it's now the next day and we're now in our hotel. Next day music, yay. Well, we're in our hotel room. Must have had a nice comfy sleep in our bed with that newspaper on it. Because we can't put it anywhere else, because there's totally not like a shelf right behind there. Oh, hi Rosie, you're just awkwardly waiting in front of the hotel, considering you live in the Richmond building with your grandfather. Why are you waiting outside of our hotel instead of just, going up to my room and knocking on the door? Oh, it's time for level up battles, that's nice. We definitely want to do that, for sure. Thank you for informing us, Nevada, about level up battles. Well, bye, Rosie. Nice for you to join me to just basically tell me nothing. Oh, and yet another sign saying level up battles, because we weren't told that before. Well, we better get off to do level up battles, because we wouldn't want to miss that. Oh wait, nope, I took a wrong turn. We're into the fossil center. Guess we're gonna miss the level up battles, so we might as well just do some cleaning anyways. But the cleaning submission has been complete. We got 4 donation points. So we'll start with cleaning this fossil, which is probably the hardest one we've had to do so far. They will basically only get harder from here. But this fossil also has a very high, or the rock itself has a very high durability. So you can see I'm hammering over the same spot a lot of times and it's barely breaking the fossil. Or the rock itself is barely breaking. The fossil hasn't been broken yet. I say yet because I know the way this game works, it's a devil sometimes when you're hovering over something. But yeah, this here is Lexo Legs. So, again, we're just going to want to clean it as best as we can, preferably get 100. But Lexo has a very high durability on its fossils for something so early game, so it actually becomes really hard to get 100 points on when you don't have upgraded tools for cleaning. If you come back later with the Super Drill and Hyper Hammer, these fossils aren't that hard to get 100 points. But since it's only Chapter 2 and we don't have those cleaning upgrades yet, it becomes somewhat difficult to get 100 points. But at the very least, it is a successful cleaning. And there's the damage that I saw coming. With the leg, I knew it was gonna happen eventually, and yay, more damage. I totally want that. But 30 seconds left. Come on. There we go. But yeah, now it's just cleaning up the last little bits, and of course that one damaged. Why wouldn't it? Yeah, that's not a good cleaning, but whatever. Yeah, it's just hard with the leg because I have to hold the drill over places longer, but then the leg just goes away. So now I just held it there forever and damaged the fossil. But here we now have patchy legs. So we just cleaned Lexa legs, and now we're going to be cleaning patchy legs. Yeah, patchy legs here has not that strong durability to it, so it's much easier to clean well. And also, as indicated by how much I've already cleaned by in a short amount of time. But once we get to Lexo Head, I don't know if I'll even be able to clean away all of the rock from it in the time limit, because it's just that hard and that big of a fossil. Again, all I can do is just do my best on it to get the highest score possible. But and of course at the last second I damage it. Of course, why wouldn't I? Come on, there you go. But 99 points. Okay, now that we've cleaned patchy legs, we'll clean patchy head, which is that fossil at the very front. Now start drilling. This patchy head is huge. It's one of the bigger head fossils, and one of the cooler looking ones as well. Patchy, Goyo, and Stygia all share the same actual fossil. It might be flipped around in different directions because I know Goyo's faces the other direction, but it still uses the same actual fossil itself. The rock shape is different, but I don't remember off the top of my head though the direction of the Stygia fossil, if it goes this way or the other way. Come on, I see you there, little dirt. There you go. But yeah, we're well past the 50-point mark we need, so we're definitely at least reviving Patchy here. But again, like I've been saying the entire time, get as close to 100 points, so there's less grinding you have to do later on in the run. Because the time it takes to clean for 99 points and 100 points isn't that different. So you don't lose a lot of time, but that's a huge difference going between 99 and 100. Because although it only sounds like 1 point, that's one less battle you have to do, which makes the game go a whole lot faster. Or the speed run. Because battles are long in the grinding phase. But here we get to revive Patchy. This is number 8 out of 100. And then we'll revive Lexo for number 9. But yes, we'll continue cleaning, and then Lexo Head. Yeah, this fossil here is not the most fun to do. Because, again, you can see the very hard durability here. And this fossil has a lot of edges. And for cleaning fossils, you don't want to hammer too close to the edges because you're going to damage the fossil. But that also means there's a whole lot more there you need to clean away. So it just takes forever. So it's really hard to get 100 points on Lexo Head while still in Chapter 2. Usually when I try to clean 100 points for fossils and try to practice, I do end up using the super drill. I don't use the hyper hammer for this fossil, but I do use the super drill, which makes it go a lot faster and actually more possible to get 100 points. It is still possible to get that 100 points with just these tools. However, it's hard to do and I've only done it once. Because here you can see 45 seconds halfway through and we're just barely halfway into the fossil. But at the very least, this will be a success, so we will get our Lexo here and revive our 9th Vivosaur. Come on. Please clean away. Come on. And of course, leg spikes. We love that. Come on. I see you there, Dirt. Go away. I'm actually shocked I was able to fully clear out that fossil and get 95, which I know I said that was bad for Lexo legs, but for Lexo head, 95 is actually pretty good at this part of the game, and I'm not going to come back to specifically clean Lexo head again. Here we go. We've revived Lexo. It's rank 3. We're not going to use it. Our team is fairly set in stone for a little bit. Because Chapter 4, we're able to get our main attacker for the pre-game of the run. No, you're now finally explaining to me donation points. Thanks, Clean. That's weird. Gonna drop off for cleaning all the other fossils I didn't clean. But there's those, so you get to have that clean, and now we'll finally go do our level up battle. Now that we've cleaned out our fossils, emptied out our case yet again. But yes, go to the Fossil Stadium, and we'll talk to Wendy. Or Tiffany, not Wendy. Wendy's the Fossil Center one. Tiffany's the Fossil Stadium. But for level 2, we still have to do our cleaning test. This time we'll have to clean it to 60 points. Again, we'll easily be able to get 60 points, but I'm just going to kind of rush through the fossil. Since we don't get to keep it anyways, there's no point in trying to do our best. All we just have to do is clean it good enough. So I'm going to hammer this fossil a lot more than I would normally, just to get things done faster. As you can see here, I've already cleaned out a whole bunch of it, but I've also damaged the fossil a lot. So this would be a bad fossil cleaning if I was trying to clean it well, but you can see I've cleaned up so much of the fossil, this cleaning will go by very fast. And I've already cleaned it good enough to move on. But now it's just clean the last little bit to just end the clock so I don't just sit here for 90 seconds kind of thing. Because that's slow. Because here we saved a full minute by just cleaning it up fast, and we still ended up getting 90 points out of it. But we've now completed our fossil cleaning part of the test, so now it's the battle part. So we're, again, just going to be able to go straight through, face the level up master. And like I said before, it's all people we've met before, so we have already met this level up master. And she played a big role in Chapter 2, and that is Nevada Monte Carlo. So we're gonna battle Nevada. If we beat her, we end up becoming a level 3 fighter. So we're just gonna go on. I forgot she leads with the Lexo, but whatever. Hopefully it just doesn't use sleep skills because that would be annoying. Okay, poison, that's... Because its base attack is already a poison attack with Lexo, its second attack has sleep. And sleep is not fun to deal with because your Vivosaur can't act at all and it can't be rotated out. So you're just stuck either A, doing less damage from the SZ, or just doing nothing at all that turn. So poison spin. Okay, so there's the poison. So okay, Lexo's sleep skill is its third skill, which it doesn't have yet, but poison spins its second. So now we're gonna swap Spinax out to alleviate the poison. And then S-Fang actually should be able to kill here. It does. Figured with the elemental advantage. But yeah, Nevada's team here is full of poison dealers, and we better hope that U-Raptor here doesn't actually poison S-Raptor. It's only a 20% chance, so very low, but it'll deal half of S-Raptor's max health if it is poisoned, which it isn't, so we're good. Because if it gets poisoned, on the next turn, Spinax will come out and we can rotate S-Raptor out. But yeah, U-Raptor is not fun to deal with if it ends up poisoning. It's just very unlikely to. Because here, if U-Raptor poisons, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, we're going to... S-Fang probably kills here, so we're going to go for that. It does. And then we're going to... It would be nice to swap Venator in since it's at full health, but because of elemental types, we're going to swap Spinax in instead and go for an attack on Nycha, which almost kills. It only has 7 health left, but almost doesn't kill. Here, if Nycha does poison, it doesn't matter since we win next turn anyways. Nycha does end up getting the poison, but like I said, it doesn't matter. So we'll just use Spinax Fang here to finish off the battle. And we defeated Nevada, so we now are a level 3 fighter. Which means we can now get access to the level 3 dig site. Thanks, Nevada. All this text that I'm just skipping. But yep, Nevada congratulates us, and then Rosie walks up and it's like, oh wow, you're already level 3? Because she always walks up, wow, you're already this whatever level. I struggled with cleaning or battling or whatever. But yet she somehow always makes that next level. So we're then going to go save our progress. Save. And with that, we're just going to end here. So, we're going to end the run right, or not end the run, but end this part of the run right here. So, with that, you can see there, level 3, we got into the digs. With level 3, we now have access to Rivet Ravine, but we've been streaming for almost 3 hours, so I think I'm gonna call it for the run for now. So we'll go end the stream and pick this run up later.